Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're in, I don't know where we are exactly, somewhere in Brooklyn.
I'm not really sure either, I just GPS'd it.
So not at my house, but somewhere. I rented a place to run a workshop last night. It's a great big 2-bedroom apartment. And given the popularity of the recent video I did with Bert Murray in Reykjavik, I thought we'd do another one, just walking you through and showing you how to find cool shots in a normal household situation. We had a couple of students at our weekend workshop whose main challenge was trying to get photos of their partner or family in a real lived-in situation. So I thought this is a great opportunity because this is a real home.
Yep.
So the challenge is going to be, we're going to try and do it in a limited amount of time, and I'm thinking we'll walk you around, show you the different opportunities to get a shot and how to eliminate distractions from the background, how to get a nice clear shot, and then just use either the available light, and that could be window light, it could be the different lamps and stuff they have, or we're going to give myself the flexibility of adding one light. So whether you're using an off-camera flash or a strobe or a lamp or whatever, that I can add one to get the shot. So then we'll just free flow it, have a shoot, see what images we can create and talk you through how we made them. So let's take a look around the apartment. So first things first, let's take a look around the space. This is the big living room. You can see nice big windows with the Venetian blinds and lots of stuff left out from the workshop the night before. That's the main living area. Then we also have a bedroom that we can shoot in with the fan running. It was blazing hot that day. Again, with more equipment still left out, a couple of mirrors and stuff around. I think this windowsill is going to be a great spot for us to shoot initially. The chase is actually one of the reasons that I rented this place. I think that can be really nice for photos. The sofa is really nothing special, but the point of this is to show you how to get shots in a real home. So as always, we started off looking through what clothes that Steph had available to shoot with. She always carries a huge bag full of different outfits. So we chose out 2 or 3 different outfits based on the different looks we were going for. All right, having checked out the apartment and outfits, we're going to go with the original outfit and just a window shot. So exactly where we started off. Now, nice big windows. There's a reason people love window light. When it comes to, you'd remember this from our weekend workshop, the bigger the light source, the bigger the light, the light. In her defense, she was taking care of all the models and logistics for me. The bigger the light, the softer the light, so the softer the shadows. So a big window is a big light source unless you've got the sun hitting it directly, which means you get really nice fall off and shadows. So we'll have her sitting in that corner, but first, all of these little things will make the shot kind of ugly, so we'll get them up and tuck them out of the way, and then we'll shoot away. And I'm thinking here, 50, 85, 1, 3.5, that kind of length would be good. And I might even come in really tight to get her reflection even up at 200. This is a nasty view, a nasty glass. It's all dirty, but by blurring it out, we can still get a nice shot.
Cool.
That may fall down and crack you on the head, but let's hope not.
Let's hope it doesn't.
So start off with the 50 mil in close. When you're choosing what focal length you want to use, people often just think about the final result, which, you know, ultimately is the consideration, but also think about your working relationship with the model or your friend or whoever it is. A 50 mil means you're generally going to be reasonably close, you can have a proper chat, you can direct them more easily. If you get a 200 mil, which you'll need at times to be able to step back, focus your frame in and eliminate distractions, but it means you're going to be on the other side of the room and potentially yelling at them to give any instructions. So let's put feet up, and then this is a day off, you're wistful, you're thinking about your future, you're wondering about should you have dropped out of art school.
Like this.
Don't they? I've seen friends, everyone's got a loft, everyone sits by the window.
Everyone has a loft?
Right?
Well, I don't.
Well, you're not in New York City, that's the city of dreams. So looking out towards Manhattan, waiting to make it big, thinking about your future. Just bring the knees down a little, I want to get them out. Thinking, should you have stayed and gone to med school? Can you cry on cue? It would really help right now.
Do you want me to? I could.
That's not something most people are going to have the option at home unless they say something really sad. So here's a few different shots with just a really nice quick color adjustment on a couple of them. What? Friends don't let friends cry alone. If you cry, I'll cry.
Actually, when I see other people cry, I cry.
It's like when you hear someone vomit?
Oh no, I'm fine.
Really?
I'm good. Yeah, I don't know why.
Isn't that the mark of a sociopath if you don't respond to that kind of thing? What if someone yawns?
Oh, no, don't do that, no. I'm gonna yawn during this whole shoot.
So you're not a complete psycho.
Complete.
Well, yeah, everything needs
Just
qualification. Here's a couple more shots. Now, all the images that I'm showing you in this video, I edited using Capture One Pro 11. I've been using this for most of the year and I'm finding it really great. It's so much faster than the alternatives that I've tried, and it gives you so many different color adjustment tools that you just don't have in other things. It's got layers as well as the catalog, and you can quickly make really nice and realistic adjustments to skin tones, which is great if you're doing any kind of portraiture. If you want to download a trial, you can head on over to Genius/Capture One. Link is in the description below. And if you want to actually purchase a copy, either a monthly or annual subscription or a one outright, you can go to Buy Capture One. Link for that is also in the description. And if you use the code MattG at checkout, you'll get an extra 10% off. Don't miss out, it's a limited offer. For folks, when you're using a fast aperture, like right here I'm using the Sigma 8514, move your focus point up to the eye if that's what you're trying to get in focus. It's really easy to miss focus when you have such a shallow depth of field that if you leave the focus point, say, in the middle or down the bottom, you focus here, and by the time you rotate up, it's not going to be a lot. You might change your focal plane a few centimeters or something, but when you only have, say, 1 centimeter depth of field, it can make the difference of it being pin sharp or slightly out.
This is really gross.
She's right, the windows were pretty dirty, but just so you know, that color cast on the window was actually there. I didn't add that in Capture One. I did make some overall enhancements to the color, but that color was there in the file. Another one here, there's actually an interesting pattern here. There's some photos on the wall there to the side of Steph. So I'm going to try and use this lead into the window, Steph, second wall, and then the pictures to frame up our shot. So this is like when you shoot someone outdoors and you frame them in, you know, the arc of a tree or something like this. This is just to give her in the shot some kind of boundary. Okay, so it's really easy to include elements that you didn't mean to, or accidentally cut off things that you weren't intending to, if you don't pay attention to the edges of the frame. And especially if you're shooting with a friend. So often Steph and I will be shooting, or with a new model, and I'm talking so much shite and making jokes and asking questions that it's easy to, one, not be paying attention, and two, then you have too many shots where they're trying to answer your question, so you've got talking shots instead of pose shots. The other one is just scan your eye around the edge of the frame and you'll really quickly notice. On one of those shots, I had this bar cutting in, didn't look good. Another shot, I had a stool, whoop, socks on a wooden floor. Another shot, I had the stools in the background creeping in, which were unnecessary clutter. And on the third one, I was cropping off her feet. So if you scan the edge of frame, anything that's sitting on the edge will immediately become apparent. And if you scan around the edges of the person, you'll quickly notice if there's a branch or a this or a that poking in, or if you've missed the fingertip, something like that. Okay, and so finally, here's a couple of different shots from that first setup. I'm gonna close these blinds up, and so we'll put them up because I'm likely to be shooting down, so hopefully we'll see less of the light falling through. I guess I'm about to disappear. Have I disappeared? All right, so let's turn on some house lights. Give us your, like, nice girl. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind when you're shooting indoors, if you are going to introduce a flash to the shot, it's actually generally really easy to achieve a black frame indoors. Your eyes adjust super fast, but it's really dark in here. We're at like ISO 2000 or something at a 50th of a second. So going to, let's have a guess, f5.6, 1/200th of a second at my base ISO. I'm just gonna take a shot of the curtains, without the flash, or even with the flash pointing away. Let's look at our histogram. Yeah, it's very close to black. It hasn't completely blacked out, but for the effect of the shoot, it's gonna work perfectly. So the shot I wanna go for here is basically, having you recline on the chase, and I'll show two different variations. I am gonna introduce a light here, show the standard one of a 45-degree light, flatly lighting you, but then it's super easy, a 45-degree rear shot. Now, with the light at the rear. Now, this is a shot that's classic for nudes, so you can see just the edges of someone. It's the same as if you have the sun rising over undulating hills or sand dunes where you have, or a six-pack, where you've got light on one side, a peak, and then a shadow. That's how you give shape and form. As always, Steph had every outfit for every opportunity, so she did have a one-piece swimsuit that'll work well for this next shot. Fabulous. So, the shot with no light added is just completely black. So we know now that any light I add, I'm only using this one light. If I'm getting light on her where I want it, but I don't like it in the background, or whatever's going right or wrong, I know it's because of the light that I've added. So that makes it really easy to problem solve. So first of all, I'll show you this one. I actually think this is quite a boring light, but it will light her evenly. Nice black and white tones. Okay, so we shot away with this one big strip rapid box. I really like shooting with this light, but this is a super easy shot. But I have to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the results I'm getting. It's just kind of boring and flat, and I didn't like the poses we were getting initially. So I decided to change the angle and her pose. So it's kind of working just fine, but it's also kind of boring. So now I will get you up into here, kind of posing against this, and this is the one where we're trying to get just a silhouette of the edge of your body. So by shooting it from an opposite angle, all of the spill is going to go to that side of the room, less of it over here, and then basically the front of her is not getting any light. If I were to take a shot from behind, let me just get a shot of her shoulder so you can see. It's going to be fully lit because it's in direct sunlight, but kind of boring. So I want the result I'm going for here. Leg is perfect. So it's just kind of hitting the back of her and spilling over. So you see a nice defined edge light along the side of her, and then not much wrap around at all on the front. We'll probably have her looking off to this direction so we get the same effect on her face. So putting the light at that rear angle, we're getting that nice light just hitting the back of her and then feathering over the shoulder. And it's going to give us a really nice edge. The main thing now is to control the spill so it's not going too far around the room. And we're just getting nice little edge light across her. Last one, chin up more. So here's some of the finals. Now I say chin up, but I can always change my position. In any of these things, if you're getting that the light's not going quite where you want it, or the shadow's slightly too big or in the wrong position, you can change the direction of the light. You can change the pose of your model, or you can just change your shooting position. If I have a light on me here and I shoot from here, it's going to be what we're getting now, just the light on the far side and the little bit of wrap. But if I move my camera to over here, it's going to be flat lit. If I shoot it straight on, I'm going to have hard light and hard shadow. So you can adjust yourself sometimes easier than get the model and everything to move. Oh God, edge light on. How do you make a double chin when you have 0% body fat? Look at that. It's like cover of hot and not within like half a second. All right, so for our next setup, I'm gonna use the bedroom, but not in typical home shoot style. I just wanna use the wall in street clothes to get some interesting patterns. Now, it's irrelevant that this is a bedroom. Actually, intentionally, When you're in a home, the bed is often a big open spot, and that's where so much shooting gets done. But I want to avoid that and go for some interesting different things. So most homes, if you search around enough, you can find some open space. It might mean that you need to move a bookshelf or something, but if you can get a good human and a half size space on the wall, you can create some interesting things. So I've got a simple flash in a softbox, and you'll see, except I will have her pose towards the light, if anything. Then at the moment, the window is behind the camera, thank you, and casting that shadow, but it's actually still quite dark here. It's like, I don't know, we're still at like ISO 900 or something. So at my base ISO at f11, 1/250th of a second with no flash, this is what I'm getting, which is very, very little. I'm actually even gonna go to f13 instead of f11, just to make sure I'm right down at black. I love that you still smile, even though there's going to be nothing showing up in frame. Looking at my histogram, we're right down in nothing count. That's at ISO 64, 1/250th of a second, and f13. But having that window light does make it nice and easy for me to focus. So let's give them a more realistic representation of how this shot is looking by dropping my ISO down. And you know, that's about where we're actually for this shot. Actually, it's even darker than that, but we'll leave that up so you guys can see. I'll have you put this shoulder to the wall and then just look all kind of badass, kind of like you're looking to bum a cigarette on the street, kind of like you're wanting to pick a fight. Smoking's bad, don't smoke.
Yeah, don't smoke.
Stay in school, blah, blah, blah.
All that good stuff.
So that this doesn't turn into a 45-minute video, we're speeding this up, but essentially we tried some different poses and me moving my vantage point, as I talked about earlier, and something we talk about in the Take Control of the Light course. So then I was able to put that light hotspot you're seeing, either lighting her directly or having it as, you know, a framing element, or actually having it behind her. By moving my shooting position or changing the direction of her face, we're able to get some different interesting compositions. And then the different color treatments you're seeing here were all really easy to apply styles in Capture One Pro 11. Towards the end, I accidentally caught her in a bit of an awkward pose. She was mid-scratching her head, so we went with it and got her to pose in as many different awkward and weird positions as we could, and then went for maximum distortion with the wide-angle lens. Always good to have a bit of a laugh on shoot. Grab that end of the sofa. Stay still. This will be fun.
Whoa. And tip it over. Just kidding.
Hey! We did do a couple of other shoots that day, but they'll be part of my upcoming video comparing some 85mm lenses. Make sure you've subscribed and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Okay folks, so that was shot over a couple of hours, turning the air conditioner on and off because it's blistering hot here, but we can't have it on whilst we're filming. Yes, so any windowsill, any long chair like a chase, any white wall, and then using a medium-sized light above, below, and pulling the weirdest faces you possibly can. Do jump on over to Instagram and check out Steph's account. She's got some cool things going on, and follow on mine as well, because I do sometimes live stream these photo shoots. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Bye.